We just wanna show some love. Some love. Some love. My most precious thing.
Good morning, you are watching KCBS TV, the Kumba City Broadcasting Service. This is Early Captions, your breakfast slot on GMKT. I'm joined today by a prolific journalist. He is a station manager of Alu Community Radio Station. He's also a writer with Lakson newspaper. At the same time, he's the president of Journalists on Meme Division. Mr. I would use the word Mr. Let's say, June Ginger, you're welcome to KCBS this morning.
I am humbled to be here. The pleasure is all mine.
Always a pleasure having you and sharing your survey. Today, we are going to go through 5 newspapers today. Today's midweek. We have the Median, Breaking News, Garden Post, The Post, and The Star. On the Median, we'll begin with the Mukete debacle. The Mukete court says the house belongs to his. The issue of Kombana owning the presidency.
On that particular story, I had to get into some detail as a journalist to find out the purpose, because normally he may has the right to claim whatsoever building. But to me, as somebody who has some experience as far as tradition and culture is concerned, I think that particular building play host to the entire tribe. It is like it come together for the entire tribe of the Bafo tribes. I think for somebody to move, to claim ownership, first of all, to go and seal that particular building is first of all like denigrating the tradition of the Bafo people. No matter what, irrespective of who owns the building, I think going to seal it as an individual who is first of all claiming that he was the one who was supposed to be the chief. If you are going to this extent of denigrating the tradition by closing or publicly sealing a building you're supposed to be the owner, I think it is like running down the tradition.
It's sacrilege because I've used that house for long, not today.
I had yesterday to go through a detailed write-up from one member of the Bafo Traditional Council.
Okay.
Though the name was not revealed, but I think the facts he presented were very chronological, and that the said property is not even in the right ownership. The person, this is so-called, I want to call the name Emmanuel Mukete, okay. Prince Emmanuel Mukete, who happens to be the son of the late Prince or Chief John Akpo Mukete, who ruled for, according to history, for 4 months before he died. And I think the Emmanuel Mukete was claiming to be the head or to be the rightful heir of the Mukete's dynasty, or how I may put it, has elder brothers and elder sisters. He was born around the 60s. So I am saying that if he has his particular problem with the Mukete families, I don't think he's supposed to drag it to the level of the traditional council.
I'm going to lock the door.
Yes, the traditional council is quite different. It's a separate institution from the chieftaincy family. Okay. So I think with that, he tried to mix up the whole stuff and disgracing the entire tribe,
which is not acceptable.
I'm sure it will never be accepted.
Let's say the Bafos will sort that out. Also in the media, we talk about the Ngabo massacre. Those who have been dragged to court in Yaoundé say they're not guilty. It's more like some drama was seen here.
That stuff has been dragging for some time now, and the government even reacted after that incident by sending some envoy. The governor of the Northwest region went there to give some assistance to the affected families in form of cash, and promising that justice will be executed to those found guilty. And of course, if in court today the accused persons are pleading not guilty, I think it is their right. It is only if the court finds them guilty, that's when they will be charged.
You mean guilty in the sense as being those who killed, or guilty that you can kill and not guilty because people were massacred?
The court procedure is different, and somebody can commit an act, but if the evidences are not there, if there are not people to come and attest that they were eyewitness to the incident, I think the lawyers of the accused can still defend them so well that they may go out free.
Especially with government fighting insurgencies,
course.
where government is fighting all over the place. Okay, that we'll now see what the breaking news is. Paper called Breaking News newspaper. It's asking the question. You know this General Express agency. Is it a slaughterhouse or an agency? Because they have a lot of incidences where people die with the agency.
Normally, as far as this agency business, this transportation business is concerned, I am like familiar to most of these big agencies, especially in the West region. So that is their main economic activity. It is not only about General. We have, of recent, we have had incidents, a series of accidents as one agency. We have Avenue, we have Manual Voyage, and others. Couple of Avenue. So, and I want to say here that the way those who are used to that route from Douala to Bafoussam, or Douala to Bafoussam to Yaoundé and the rest, and the state of the road, first of all, is never the best. And apart from the state of road, the speed, the way these guys move, especially those on those 70-seater buses, the way they ply the road is very risky. Secondly, the distance, you discover that from the road Douala to Bafoussam is National Road number 5. The distance is about 240 kilometers. The distance is not easy. I discovered that somebody plied that road in the night, gets to Bafoussam in the morning. That same morning, the vehicle is loading to come back to Douala. Without the driver has about 1 or 2 hours to rest, then takes off again. The car itself too has about 1 or 2 hours to rest, then takes off again. I think the incident that happened at the level of Fales, and again the Fales, I'm used to that here because I used to travel at least twice a week to Chang and Bafoussam and back to the southwest. So I'm used to that hill. The hill, the dangerous aspect of the hill is the aspect of descending. Descending that hill, that steep cliff, it has never been easy. And of course, when you're inside the vehicle, you see how some vehicles overtake during descending. You ask yourself, are these vehicles really know? Do these drivers really know what they are doing? So it is enough reason, apart from the fact that the road is narrow, the road is filled with potholes, the roads are filled with dangerous bends. I think it is the responsibility of the drivers to understand that the lives of the over 70 persons they are carrying in their hand matters a lot. And these persons have families who depends on. I think they should, if they are driving, they should drive with care. And drivers, it is very important that they should always have assistance. But most often their own assistants, they are the ones charged with offloading and loading.
Boys.
Yes, what they call motor boys. But I think a driver with about 300 kilometers, 250 kilometers of road is supposed to have an assistant.
And what you're saying really makes sense, because sometimes you see these drivers, those who are supposed to drive at night, during the days they're drinking, or they're sleeping. No, somebody is supposed to drive at night, during the day he's expected to be sleeping, but they're drinking.
It is very risky. I want to say that God alone has even been the one taking care of passengers, because if you look at it, even our local level, you stop maybe a bike, you don't even know as far as the experience of the rider.
Yeah.
That you just stop, you will not stop and ask the person, can you ride where? Are you how far? Are you where are you from? And you just come and
talking about this bike rider, it's very bizarre that they say they're not going to have license and if you are the government accepted.
So
people will say we don't need a license to ride the bike, and the government accepts that.
Day, at the level of vehicles, you discover that you go to the agency to pay. Well, your aim is to travel. You don't want to. You don't go to find out who is the driver, when the driver resting and the rest. It is not.
Right, is that drinking?
Yes, but I think it is the responsibility of the transport officials to monitor these people at their various agencies to see that
talk
the
about
driver is
having an alternative driver. The distance, give an example of what I know. From Berlin to Munich is 8 hours, 9 hours by road. But you get to a bus, about 4 hours into the journey, you go to something like a place where you take cafe, where you rest. All of a sudden, a new driver comes to the bus and continues to drive. The other one goes to. Can you imagine? That is just 9 hours driving by day.
So
Yeah, but here poor
you can
drive.
see the way
That, no.
human life
I think
is being treated, and
yeah, we
again,
don't really.
don't treat people with levity, because you don't travel for free. You
That is
pay
it.
for the service, and of course you are supposed to be treated with some care. You even see the way people are even choked up in the vehicles.
They have extra
Yes,
seats.
extra seats.
Some people even
sit.
stand.
Yes, people stand. Some people even sit on the staircase. And
This is
the rest.
because the government doesn't care. Because if they have strict regulations on the government, will not do
He
that.
doesn't care, because, as I said, I always travel along that road at least twice a week. You discover that when a control stops any vehicle, the guy, the so-called motorboy, is
Goes
the one
and
who goes
and talks with the
and
people.
talks and the rest. They will never come. A police or general officer will never come to like check to see how the vehicle is, what is even carrying, and the rest. So you see, those who are in charge of controls, they always sit somewhere with their big umbrellas.
Yeah.
Yes, table in front of them.
With the ledger.
Their whistle.
Come and write your
Pen and
number,
paper,
you
yes.
pay.
Yes, you come, you drop, you pay.
Say the number,
take your
don't sign
number,
to the way
and the rest.
yes,
So
in it.
that is
Yeah.
what they call control. It is a bizarre, and I don't really know where we are heading to. It is even operating even at this level of the northern and southwest when we are in crisis. Because you discover that in police checkpoints, you see most of them busy on their WhatsApps. Police on control in the risky zone.
Say pack fine,
Yes.
bring your book.
Yes.
That bring your
Somebody
book is bring
there.
your 500.
They just sit them so comfortable, collecting, browsing. Some people their headset, police people their headset,
Yeah.
enjoying music, without thinking of the risks involved. So
Yeah, it's then, I
the
think
earlier they sit up, the better for all of us.
we can't
Because we
keep
call them
complaining
security
year in
officers.
year out. Nothing
Yes.
is changing. Does it?
If security officers at the level of control stations they are being attacked, you know that nobody is safe.
Nobody is safe. Okay, let's go to the Guardian Post. It's almost a week now that 6 divisional delegates were kidnapped. All of them there. And people say the government maintains what we call a provocative silence.
Yeah, it is indeed a provocative silence, because after a week, a true government will like immediately come out after that sad incident, come out with a release to announce to the world and to calm down the tempers of these families that because of this incident, because as we speak, the SDO, major organs who have been able to contact the SDO on phone, it's been the one who have given one or two information concerning the incident, but nothing has been published that someone can depend on that. This is what really transpired from Mondemba to Masore Barwe, that village where they were kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And their mission, it is only allegation. They were going there to carve out, to map out a piece of land and the rest. There is no official document to state that, because nobody have contacted those kidnapped to get their real mission, the team, because they were moving there as a team. And up to now, it is a week, and it is really sad that a young dynamic guy from Meme Division, Konya subdivision there, was killed. It is really a sad incident. And the fate of the other 5, we don't know their fate. It is alleged again that they are demanding for huge sums of money, close to $1 billion. And of course, the government is still there. Normally, they say the government machinery grants slowly. But at the level of this particular situation, it is not about the government machinery. It is not supposed to grant slowly at emergency situation. Emergency situation, they should handle emergency situation with the emergency. Because you can't grant slowly while the lives of people are in risk. The people died or they have been kidnapped. You are the service of the state. And again, it beats my imagination that people work in in Jan Division. They had to travel. If you have traveled from Ikonotiti to Mundimba, you understand that it is the risks involved in that strip of road is at least 90% risky, because the few villages, I don't even want to call them villages, the few hamlets around that highway, you meet a small village with about 10 mat houses, and the rest, it is complete forest, dense forest. So to travel for a distance of 1 hour 30 minutes to high speed, and especially now in the rain season, they can take about 2 or 3 hours from Mondemba to Ikonosi. Then they move without security. It is a cause for concern. And again, given that, from what I found out, is why most of them who have been traveling from Mondemba to Ikonosi, they always use but they see, they use but the creeks to get to Ikonosi. And the village, they were kidnapped. I don't know why they had to. Though the village, you get to the village before getting to Ikonosi town. I don't know whether their imagination was that they can't get to Ikonosi before driving back to Masore. But I think at this present situation, we are supposed to take care of our lives. I work in the BLM division, and behold, you can't tell me that the SGO will call a delegate that and assign, go to BLM and the rest, go and do this and come back. It is risky without taking all the security measures. So what has happened is really sad. The government still has a lot to do, because if anything happens to these remaining 5 state officials, it will greatly drag this government to the mud. And we are praying that they should act and act fast. Though a release from the chiefs on Jan is accusing non-settlers, people from other divisions, foreigners and the rest to be the brain behind the stuff. We are saying that we have gone past the stage of blaming. They accuse, blame and complain. We are not at that ABC syndrome or at that stage now. We are at the level of finding solution. So rather than blaming that it is this person, the head of these separatists is not somebody from Jan, this is the one masterminding this, we should look for way forward, that what can be done. Do we appease the separatists to save lives? Do we employ the military to use force, and which is still risky? Do we pay them the ransom they are
which
demanding
we empowering
for?
other kidnappers?
Yes. So we are saying that the government, all is in the hand, is reserved for the government. It has come to a level where the government should step down from the high mountain, come down and meet the people, so that we put an end to this hula.
I was following a debate last night on TV, and the idea, if you listen to most of these government officials, though what they were speaking, it might have just been their own personal opinion, not official, that the separatists will lay out that and for the government to do anything. I mean, who do you call separatists? Those people who have kidnapped these people, they even watch TV. Those people in the bush don't even watch TV. Yeah, I don't know. According to the government, later answer will talk to the government. As long as they have arms, well.
Well, the truth is, if we operate the system where the one-man rule system, where we believe that force is the solution to all problems, we are failed at this level, and we should.
And what they were saying was that military force will handle. That was the idea. Military force will handle the problem. That was the thing.
And using words like neutralize, crushed, this and the rest, they just a handful of resistance, patches of resistance.
Yeah.
Those type of statements are provocative statements, and it only goes a long way to get the population more angered, and immediately they are angered, they are forced to get.
They feel abandoned.
Yes,
they feel
and
abandoned.
get into those guys. And again, you discover that the government communication too is a little bit slow. The separatists, they have adopted a lot, especially their diaspora support, they adopt a lot of propaganda. And this propaganda gives wrong impression to the public.
Yeah.
So people believe that. I saw a video 2 days ago how it is showing that they attacked the military convoy along the Kumbaboya road there, but from the analysis, it was all fake, because there was an accident there. They had to retrieve that vehicle and had to return back to Goya and the rest. Mm-hmm. But it was like they are the ones who attacked them, and they are leaving. But if there is this straightforward communication,
yeah, the government always seems to.
Yes, because at the end of the day, you say the government, the ways of the government. The government is the government of the people, for the people, and it's for everybody. Yes. All of us are government, so it's not like people considering information. Because if you don't give me information, I will depend on what I have. Yes. Okay. And those guys are there sending propaganda on daily basis. We have done this, we are in charge of this, we have this and the rest. Then the government sits quiet, the military sits quiet. Who do you expect for the population to believe?
Let's hope somebody is listening, as we always say. Also, on the Guardian Post, they say the Ministry of Finance has unveiled plans to ease salary payments.
Well, I don't know if there has been problems
With
at the
salaries.
level of salaries there, because for those who are civil servants, I'm not a civil servant.
Yeah,
For those who are civil servants,
you get their salaries regularly.
for those who are civil servants, I know that from the 25th of each month,
You can go and
they
get
always
yourself
queue at the level of the banks
to get the money.
just to get their money. And I've never had any civil servant complain after the 25th or the end of the month that they haven't
Has
received
not
their
passed.
money and the rest. So if that measure is for state agents, because state agents will comprise those who are working with state corporations, councils,
Maybe that is
parastatals,
what-
and rest.
maybe-
If that is it, then we will be very grateful, because some of us go for 6 months without salaries and the rest. So
Maybe that's
I
what they
think
mean.
it
Because
should
for
be
normal,
channeled,
because for civil
yes,
servants, they
yes.
have the always get the money through
Yeah,
the
so
banking
if the Ministry
system.
of Finance is coming towards state parastatals and
It's the right
state
idea.
enterprises, I think it is a wonderful initiative.
Okay, let's now move to the Post newspaper. This should be interesting to you. You heard about the Bermuda Ring Road for years, more than 30 years today. They said African Development Bank is giving the government a loan of 106 billion francs to begin this road.
The truth is that normally we live in a government
The door.
that does a lot of talking, and especially we do propaganda talk. If African Development Bank grants loan to Cameroon, it is to me it is not news. It is not news, because Cameroon have been securing loans from everywhere, and the rest have been getting loans.
You've been using the
you
work
should
is
not-
done.
Yes, you should not even announce that you have secured a loan to construct a road that you have been promising people after over 30 years. If it was a serious government, it means that they were like deceiving the people of the Northwest, because if it's a serious government, you will tell them that after 30 years, we are coming out with this money because we know that it is expensive to build this road.
And
So
when
this
it's
road,
time to secure money,
we have secured this money,
the
not
finances,
loan.
just-
It can't be loan after 30 years. You talk about loan. It means that
The
you
common man does not want to know how you got the money.
abandon
You don't want to see caterpillars when they're happy.
Yeah,
They
don't
want to see
tell them. Yes,
caterpillars.
you don't need to announce them that you took loan, because you are giving the impression that loan is not free gift. You are
Of
giving
course.
the population the impression that this loan we are announcing to you, know that you will be the
Pay-
ones to pay
of
back.
course.
Yeah, so it is, to me, well, there was no
You know,
essence
a common
announcement.
man asked me, how do we pay when we don't pay? I said, well, by the time they increase the price of Gary from 75 to 1, no, because somebody asked me, why they keep saying, how do they pay? They will come and ask them to pay. You know, maybe some people thought they will actually come and hope to pay the
Of
loan. I
course,
said,
the road they may place about four toll gates,
good, they don't
or
know.
4 toll gates, and toll gate will influence the cost of transportation.
Of
and
course.
the rest. So that is the loan we are paying.
Yeah. Okay, also in the Post newspaper, they say Musonge Bilingualism Commission takes hate speech campaign to Bamenda. I think Bamenda seems to be a limelight this week.
They can even carry it to Europe and America, because to me, the idea of hate speech, we should forget about the concept of leaving the horse and chasing the shadow, or pushing the cart before the horse.
Okay.
To me, we have a very pressing situation now. The Northern and Southwest, the Anglophone crisis. Let's do all it takes.
Forget about the hate speech,
Yes,
all this campaign.
Yes, hate speech can be.
And moving,
tackled
they'll
at
give them
any
money
time,
to
yes,
travel,
yes.
have
Don't
station
go
allowance,
around
they'll
with
make their
mission-
money,
Yes,
mission
spending
allowance.
missions, inviting people and giving them per gems and the rest that they're fighting hate speech. Well, we have crisis at hand. They can't sit down. You are moving, preaching against hate speech. The country is there to secure
It's crumbling.
borrowing money to finance Ring Road, the Northwest. You are going there again with bundle monies to distribute to people preaching hate speech.
How would they get to Bamenda when Babajuro is not done? Which means they don't care. How would they get to Bamenda? They have not paid
It is even
Babajuro.
funny. It is even funny because we keep on complaining that there is no money. There is no money. You see how people spend money. You ask ourselves,
On mission.
are we equal citizens of this country?
That's a
It
good
is-
question.
It is terrible. It's terrible. When you place hate speech at this level, at the top of as a priority,
It's priority. It's
whereas
suspicious.
people are dying on daily basis, both the military and civilians and the rest. You ask yourself, where are we really heading to?
I'm sure the money they're going to use for outstation allowance is more than what those ransommers are demanding.
It's terrible.
It's more than
It's
what
terrible.
the 6
People are
million
there
are
under
demanding.
captivity, no statement.
The
they
government
are
does not
preaching hate
care.
speech. Who hates who? They should preach for justice and peace. Not
The
hate
government would have
speech.
even said,
Yes.
well, we are doing everything to secure them. They will be fine.
Yes,
No
you
official
need
comment.
justice and peace. No need to go and be
The one who was
preaching.
already killed, I saw by the wife and family who were
I don't
crying.
see
No
any,
government official was there.
I've not, to me, in my humble opinion, I've not seen any hatred that
Amongst
is,
Cam-
yes, that is manifested
speech.
amongst Cameroonians. Yes, I've not
Honestly.
seen it because people live everywhere freely.
Freely.
So if you bring hate speech at this level, to me, you are just distracting people unnecessarily.
Yeah. And we're also going to look at the Star newspaper. Is the last paper we're going to look at today, the Star. They said separatist movements in Cameroon and Nigeria are joining forces. That is not good news if you ask me.
Sincerely, it is not good at all. It is not good at all for the country. If you look at this crisis, they communicate in Indian chiefs wrote. They said some foreigners from foreign countries, people from other regions and other divisions, they are the ones perpetrating such acts in Indian division. And the foreign country, they are not talking about peace. They talk about the neighboring Nigeria. Indian shares a very wide boundary with Nigeria. And of course, it is alleged, it is always said that these guys, they go to Nigeria to revamp their strength, to go and take their charms and the rest. So, with that, it is already an indication that there is a collaboration between the warring factions or the rebel factions in Cameroon and the rebel factions in maybe the Cross River State or the Delta States and the rest.
Well, we're talking about his speech. He was
Yes.
spending money making
Yes.
his speech campaign.
And the rest people are there disgruntled and creating liaison or alliances to pet up the peace of our country. Instead of us handling this, to see how we can create employment for youths. And so that they are being distracted from all this negative and macabre thoughts.
Okay.
Yes, if there is employment, nobody will pick up spam.
Of course,
Nobody
because
will
by the
decide
time
to
you walk by
abandon
5
it.
o'clock, you're tired. I will tell you something. There is a whole chunk of road in Germany which was built by youth. Adolf Hitler employed them after the war because they thought and they were working. Everybody was working, and then they got tired and went and slept.
Yes, of course.
Okay, everybody got
I
all the
am-
youth went on road.
I am saying that at this level, that is what is needed. If you come there, this is a project. We need this Kumba Mondemba road. We'll
Yeah.
be recruiting 5,000 youths.
I bet you they
Yes,
will come and
they'll be
apply
paid on
overnight.
daily basis. They will rush there.
Of course.
They will rush there. And at that level, I bet you the few will be remaining in the bush. If they come to the step, only
They'll be
their
beaten.
friends
They'll
will
be chased
get
away.
them up. So I think that is what we should focus on. Rather than
Interestingly, if they want to
delivering
tie the
speeches
roads,
and
they
this.
will bring people from the other side, and the people themselves will be unemployed. That is
That is the irony.
good.
That is the irony. But we are saying that at the level of local labor, they will come with their technicians, and
Of
we are
course.
saying that the majority of workers are the
hand laborers should be taken around.
laborers. The
Of
laborers.
course.
I think the communities should be
benefit.
given the priority. If it
Yeah.
is done, I bet you this crisis will die down gradually, bit by bit. Because you can't take, for instance, Indian division. You are going there to install electricity, and because it is easy, because they move, the officials come to Indian through the high sea
Through the
and
now.
the rest. Yes, so it is difficult for us and the common man, those who live along that road. How do they come to Kumba? You can't come to Kumba through the high sea. It means you will leave, for instance, Kondo City, go to Ejina, go to Bolimbe before coming back to Kumba, which is difficult. But if that road is constructed, I think it will facilitate a lot of things. These guys are, because I know that is where I'm coming from. During the rainy season, that road is impassable, and that is when those guys perform their best at the level of frustrating or marginalizing the local population, because the military cannot move further. They cannot move because of bad road. If you ask the least person along the Kumba Munemba road what is his or her difficulty, they will tell you that they want that road to be tarred.
Yeah.
It will facilitate a lot of things. It will reduce them a lot of stress. So instead of us moving with the logo, I have people who work in that Balingwazi or World Commission, friends and the rest. They are working to earn their daily bread. But I am saying that, to me, it is not the time for Bilingualism Commission or hate speech. if we are able to tackle this crisis and we get this youth involved, you will come after now to preach love, preach reconciliation, preach unity. That's when that aspect of hate speech can come as a subset, because you bring it so that these guys who have dropped arms should not feel ridiculed. Yes, they should not be insulted, and they
don't make it as a main course in the university.
As it's
a main because hate speech.
We are really lacking. We are lacking, and unless
or is somebody playing games in this country?
I don't know if it is somebody or a group of people.
Maybe
it's a whole team, it's a whole cabal of some giants who want things to be dancing.
It's as if hate speech is more geared towards Anglophones. I don't know why. I still understand why.
To be honest, you create a commission. I know this commission, the main aim was to like ensure that there is full promotion of bilingualism.
Okay.
That was the main cause of the problem, because we discovered that language barrier was a problem in terms of opportunities.
Yeah.
Where you go to institutions, especially in the French-speaking regions, you discover that most documents appear in French. And English, when you see it's written there in English, they write the name.
You need binoculars to read it.
Yes, they write in French.
Magnifying glasses.
For the under, they put in English, very small letters.
There is some
but
magnifying glass to read it.
That the English and French will be two official languages, and they will be of equal status. But you go there, see English, French, bold, English,
tiny, as
small
if they are annoying, even as if they are forced to put it.
Instead of even placing French and side by side English,
like in Canada, Canada.
But you inform the world that French is above English and below. It is again like the creation of the regional councils and the regional assemblies. The creation of these regional councils and regional assemblies are the outcome of this crisis. Okay. But you discover that Northwest and Southwest, they have regional assemblies, which is alleged to be super above regional councils, while the other regions have regional councils. But in terms of protocol, you will bear with me that regional council, presidents of regional councils, they appear first before president of regional assemblies. That's the truth. That's the truth. But they putting in place of regional councils, it is the outcome of the Northern and Southwest crisis, or the Anglophone crisis. So we I don't even know where we are.
Somebody is not serious somewhere. Someone is not serious somewhere in this country.
It's terrible.
And the last article we'll take on the Star newspaper, that will be a last for today. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunication has launched 10 commandments for cybersecurity. That's coming from the Bible, which is good.
The truth is that the unemployment has pushed our youth to engage in these cyber criminalities and the rest. Most of them who even refuse to take up arms, they leave their village, escape from the village and move to cities like Boya, Limbe, and the rest, Kumba. Most of them got involved in this just scamming stuff. I don't even know how they do it. Yeah. But the truth is that they are doing something. They're doing something. If you concentrate on them and forget about those who are carrying arms, to me, it is an irony. They are there struggling to survive. They don't have jobs. Somebody lives in university, buys a small Android phone, fill his data there and say, okay, this is my employment. I don't know how they do their scamming, but
they live
you
on
see
that.
them living their lives, taking
living
care
big,
of their families and the rest.
Buying big cars, building houses.
If you call it criminality and you want to chase them and the rest, you go ahead. But to me, it is not.
People,
they are not.
City and deceive Westerners to send the money.
Those moving with weapons, those embezzling state billions and stock in different accounts, and
they are not being chased.
Those stalling development projects, embezzling money for projects and the rest. They are the real cyber criminals.
That we should talk about.
Yes. You keep them aside and start to chase young boys who are struggling.
Young boys who are struggling to make a life. Young boys.
To me, we are not even serious. We are not serious, because the ministers can come to Buya, for instance, and said, okay, I'm post and telecommunication. I'm launching this project to recruit 2,000 youths for the cyber stuff and the rest. You get them employed.
I have a classmate of mine.
That is their domain.
Let me amuse you. I have a classmate of mine in the US. He came to Cameroon and he met who is in charge of where do I best? Is it Minat where they do best education? It's under
yes, it's under Minat.
Good. He wanted to bring a system where they could computerize all birth certificates in the country just by putting a laptop in all councils. If I tell you what they told him, you'll be shocked. The thing was not necessary. And that's the youth. So he was this knowledge now be doing is coming, you blame him. I mean, you don't want.
It is terrible. I work in the council.
Okay.
I'm used to the civil status department and the rest. If you go there, you see they still use pen to establish birth certificate. And behold, check the caliber of civil status secretaries. Most of them are O-level holders, first schools, and the rest. So that you come with court judgment for them to just transcribe to
It's
the
whole
booklet.
process.
You see problems. You see where people's names are spelled wrongly. You see the names of villages spelled wrongly, different from what is in their court judgment. And they tell you that you can't correct, or they can't correct, and you continue. It is different from you go there to identify or to produce other documents. You discover that with the fault in that particular birth certificate, you either you live with it throughout your life, or you struggle, you get booked up along the way. So if it is computerized, like the ID cards, the way ID cards are produced or passports, after they enter your data in the computer, they ask you to go, you cross-check your name, the spellings, date of birth, and the rest before they print. Not that you just go and give somebody the rights and even cancel this and the rest. It gives you. You go check that. But this is the spelling of Tombe is Tombel. It's supposed to be Tombel, not Tombe. And you can't correct it.
And sometimes they even argue with you.
Yes.
They even argue.
It's
Let's come,
terrible.
let's come,
It's terrible.
But yeah, that you change is a long process to change it.
Of course.
I have friends
should
whose
be
names
serious.
were distorted because it was spelled wrongly from the beginning, and they just accepted.
They just
it
accept even
that
my
way.
name.
You see,
My name, I had to accept.
because somebody just decided to make an error.
It's
Some
just
who's
the way they pronounce
unqualified.
things. Most of our parents never went to school, so the way you
Good.
pronounce, they just put it there and.
Yeah, which was sad, which was
Accept.
unfortunate. June Jinjo, station manager of Alu Community Radio, also writer with Action newspaper, president of Kamasesh. It was nice having you in KCBS this morning.
Wow, I am honored, I am privileged, and I will always be here when I'm called upon. So, viewers of the wonderful KCBS, it's not that I've not been coming. You know, some people have been like, what is happening? The president of Kamasesh, I've not been seeing you, but I am there, I'm active. You know, the Kamasesh office is a little bit heavy. It needs a lot of other commitment. So we are struggling to do our best. And we assure you, the best is yet to come.
It was nice having you watching the show for today. This is what we had for you. Stay tuned. Good morning, Keaton. Continue to stay glued to KCBS programs. Bye-bye.